yung
Ano na,
Apo.
sumagot ka lang.
Opo, Senator.
Independent, di ba?
Opo.
Ba't kinakailangan siyang humingi ng tulong sa mga fiscal ninyo, prosecutors? That is not being independent. Paano kang independent and dami mong kinakasangkapan, hingi ka ng hingi? You should obtain the information by yourself, all alone. Yun ang independent. No one is above the law, sabi pa nga natin. And the overarching principle in the promulgation of our Constitution is upholding the rule of law. No one should bend the law. Not even in imagination. Mahirap po yun eh. Bakit makakalampas pa sila sa civil liability? Of course, the court will, in proper time, adjudicate kung anong dapat nilang isoli sa gobyerno. That is the only time when restitution can be done. Kasi mayroong court order eh. Pero sa ngayon, will you abuse your discretion na kaya niyong gawin ito kahit na wala sa batas? How can the Department of Justice do that? You're supposed to be the embodiment of justice. Mr.
Thank you, Senator Marcolita, and would like to implore on the Department of Justice to reflect on the exchange between Senator Marcolita and, of course, the members of the Department of Justice. Is something that the Department of Justice, the department might study carefully, analyze the situation carefully. I think the objectives are the same, no? To put people into account or hold people to account, and those who transgressed our laws should be put in jail. No? I think that is very clear in our objectives. I think the approach might be different, the opinions might be different, but let's reflect on it. No? Because ang gusto naman natin yung objective na may managot at may makulong at mabilis. No?
We will do, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Yes. So while we take a break on this topic, I'll go to a similar topic, but not going into the legal aspect of it. No? But I just want to get a broader sense of where we are in terms of holding people to account and putting people to jail. May movements sa Department of Justice, alam naman natin. Si Secretary Remulla ngayon nasa Ombudsman at ngayon may bago tayong kalihim, may bago tayong secretary, and then may ICI na binuo. No? So, what is the role now of DOJ, the role of ICI, and the role of Ombudsman in this quest to hold people to account and put people in jail, those who transgressed our laws? So, anong ngayon ang role ng Department of Justice in, kasi parang may added body, no, yung ICI, no? So paano yung itong interplay or ano yung mga roles nitong bodies na ito?
Ang basic po ng paghabol po sa mga tiwaling lingkod bayan na hindi tumutupad sa kanilang tungkulin sa batas ay nakaatang mayorya sa Ombudsman. Noong 2012 po, merong Memorandum of Agreement ang DOJ at Ombudsman kung saan nagkaroon ng sanipuwersa, paano mausig, paano mapanagot yung mga tiwaling lingkod bayan. At base po dito sa MOA na to, nagkaroon po ng hatian ng trabaho. Yung po yung case build-up, pagpo-prosecute, para po dun sa salary grade 26 and below, yung po ang napaatang sa DOJ. At yung 27 and above, ang mayorya pong jurisdiction ay nasa Ombudsman. Pero sa kabila po nung deputization na yon sa DOJ, ang kabuuang pagpapatakbo pa rin ng pag-uusig ng plano, kung ano man ang dapat gawin para usigin yung mga dapat managot na public officials ay nasa Ombudsman pa rin po. Sa kasalukuyan po, create po yung ICI. Yung ICI po ay pursuant to executive order. At kasama po sa kanilang mandato ay magkalap, 'di ba? Nag-offer sila sa public, basically public crowdsourcing po. Kung sino man ang may kaukulang impormasyon ay tinatanggap nila at pinoproseso. Dahil nga po na-appoint na at nag-assume na ang ating bagong ombudsman, ang lahat po ng aming mga findings sa DOJ, meron din po kaming task force on this flood control. So lahat po ng findings namin ngayon, lahat po ay ipinapasa namin sa ombudsman, no? Kasama na po, referral po lahat sa ombudsman. Kasi sa ilalim po ng mandato ng ombudsman ay ang opisina po ng ombudsman ang may pangkabuoang kapangyarihan at mandato para usigin yung mga iba't iba pong dapat managot.
So ngayon, itong mga investigasyon, ombudsman na ang magtutuloy.
Hindi po, patuloy po yung mandato kasi ng iba na pagkakalap, pero sa dulo po yung pag-refer po namin sa ombudsman, no? Pati po yung pag-case build up, iniipon po namin tulad po nung aming task force. May na-refer po kami sa Office of the Ombudsman Tuesday last week na 5 kaso. Ito po yung mga nabuo na po ng mga team ng DOJ kung saan po yung mga ghost project po. Diba? Na-refer na po namin. Ngayon po, ang inaantay po namin ay kung sasabihin sa amin ng ombudsman, sila ba magpa-file magsisimula ng prosecution nun o DOJ po?
Diba ang ICI is also a fact-finding body?
Yes, opo.
They're also, meron rin silang case build-up
Yes, opo.
responsibility. So paano yung interplay nun? Paano yung roles ng DOJ and ICI in terms of case build-up, in terms of fact-finding?
Sa fact-finding po, humingi po ng tulong sa amin ng ICI.
May conflict ba? Yun ang inaano ko, mayroon bang conflict na ginagawa ng ICI pero ginagawa na rin ng task force ninyo?
Wala naman pong conflict. More po ang nagko-coordinate po yung ICI. Kasi may iba po silang sources na hindi po available sa, tulad po yung kakayanan nilang magpatawag sa iba't ibang ahensya ay nagagawa ng ICI. Sa kasalukuyan nga po, nanghihiram ang ICI ng ilang piskal na para tulungan sila. Dahil ang may kakayanan po na magbalangkas ng mga ebidensya na naiipon at impormasyon ay ang mga na atin pong mga kasalukuyang mga taga-usig. So ito po yung magkabilang tulungan po na amin pong binibigay para sa ICI.
Sir,
Yeah, yes, go ahead, Senator.
akala ko ba ang ICI is an independent body? Pagka independent, gagawin niya sa sarili niya, di ba? Tama.
Opo, ang ano po is yung
Teka
pagtulong.
muna,
Opo.
sumagot ka lang.
Opo, Senator.
Independent, di ba?
Opo.
Ba't kinakailangan siyang humingi ng tulong sa mga fiscal ninyo, prosecutors? That is not being independent.
Okay.
Tama?
We submit to your wisdom, Your Honor.
Of course. Kasi nga, tingnan mo yung creation niya. It should be an sa pangalan pa lang, independent, ano na yun, Che? ICI. Independent Commission on Infrastructure. Pag binasa mo yung kanyang mga powers, di ba, this is something that also the senators will, one way or the other, discuss probably in the course of time. Sabi niya, upon request, it can obtain information from the House of Representatives, the Senate, the courts, the Ombudsman, and other authorities. So paano yun? Bakit ka independent? And dami mo namang nagre-request ka kung kani-kanino eh. Can the Senate refuse, for example? In observance of the separation of powers. Halimbawa, nag-request siya. address to the Senate President, wala pa kaming choice. Because there are institutional boundaries. We need to exercise the system of checks and balances. So sasabihin niya, Independent Commission on Infrastructure. Paano kang independent and dami mong kinakasangkapan, hingi ka ng hingi? You should obtain the information by yourself, all alone. Yun ang independent. Tama?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. May I continue, Mr. Chair?
Yes, go ahead, Senator Mark.
You're familiar with the now famous statement, sometimes you have to bend the law to please our people. You're familiar with that?
Not so familiar with that, Your Honor.
How come you're not familiar with that? May I refresh your memory?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
We were talking about, this issue of prostitution and blah, blah, blah. Hanggang dumating yung isang point where one of us made a suggestion. Sometimes we have to bend the law in order to please the people. And he asked the former Secretary of Justice for affirmation. Am I correct, Mr. Secretary? And the Secretary said, yes, sir. You agree with the affirmation of the Secretary of Justice?
I do not agree.
Thank you.
I do not agree. Because basically, in implementing the law, there are positions you can take. But bending the law is not one of them, Your Honor.
Buti na lang ganyan ang sinagot mo. Kasi sa ibang mga interview, sinasabi niya, bending the law is okay, basta wag lang breaking the law. How can you accept that kind of statement? You cannot bend the law. No one is above the law, sabi pa nga natin. And the overarching principle in the promulgation of our Constitution is upholding the rule of law. No one should bend the law. Not even in imagination. Mahirap po yun eh. Kasi kung sinabi mong you agree, ang dami po kasi nagte-text sa akin, Yusek Andres. Ganyan palang ginagawa sa mga taxes na binabayad namin. Mga buwis namin eh. Hirap na hirap kami, mga halos dugo, pawis. Minsan may kahalo pang sipon. Makapagbayad lang kami ng tamang buwis sa ating pamahalaan bilang mga patriotic na citizens. Pwede mo ba, sir? Sabi nila sa akin. Ilaban mo naman kami, yung 2026, wag na muna kami magbayad ng tax. Because somebody said, sometimes we can bend the law to please the people. I may be able to please them, Secretary. Kasi yun ang text nila. Can I say yes to them? Can I?
You
Thank you. Ito pong Secretary, yung pagkaka-transport ng dating Pangulo ng Republika sa The Hague. Ang pagkakaalam ko po kasi, maraming pronouncement ang ating Pangulo. Yung iba na-memorize ko pa nga po eh. We will not assist the ICC in any way, in any form. From now on, I ask my secretaries to do the same. I mean, something like that. Pero nangyari, kabaligtaran, Secretary, di ba? The former Secretary of Justice explained that, well, those pronouncements are not cast in stone. Ito na naman eh. Ito yung parang Parang ephemeral lang nangyayari. Parang the government official's decision, sabi niya, sometimes can be changed at times. What do you think are the factors that necessitated a change of mind? Like from not assisting the IEC in any manner, in any way, in any form, he was just transported there. Now languishing in the detention center on the other side of the planet. What do you think are the factors used by the DOJ?
First, Your Honor, if I'm not familiar to the particular circumstances that the secretary, the particular facts that which made the secretary made the actions
Who is
before.
familiar? Who is familiar from
And
among
second,
you?
Your Honor, if I also may state, the matter is pending now with the matter before the Supreme Court. So the position, the legal position on the actions of the former Secretary of Justice has been elucidated with the court. But for the Department of Justice, it's Chief Dennis Chan who made the argument and presented the position of the DOJ in this regard, Your Honor.
My question is, what are the factors that necessitated a change of mind from not helping the ICC in any way, in any form, which is a policy matter, with the reverse? That happened.
I'm not privy to that, Your Honor.
Who is privy? Kasi parang,
Your Honor, it may be the former secretary, now the ombudsman.
oh, wala na siya sa DOJ, nasa ombudsman na siya. Alam nga naman
Yes.
ipatawag natin siya rito.
Yes, Your Honor.
What happens now to the principle of continuity? Well, people might say and suspect that, even policy matters can be changed by mere whims or caprices, which are not probably based on sound legal basis. You are familiar with Republic Act 9851. This is our Philippine Act on crimes against international humanitarian law, genocide, and other crimes against humanity.
Not so familiar with that. 9851, Your Honor.
Kasi, Secretary, under that law, ang jurisdiction po ng mga tao na nagkasala under this law, under Section 17 of that law, the state shall exercise jurisdiction over persons, whether military or civilian, suspected or accused of a crime defined and penalized under the Act, regardless of where the crime is committed, provided any of the following conditions is met. The accused is a Filipino citizen. The accused, regardless of citizenship or residence, is present in the Philippines, or the accused has committed the said crime against a Filipino citizen. So if these are the assumptions in the law, ang Pilipinas ay may jurisdiction. And under Section 18, the Philippine courts, prosecution, and investigators, the regional trial courts of the Philippines, shall have original and exclusive jurisdiction over the crimes punishable under this Act. Ngayon po, if we consider the applicability of this law, bakit po na-transport yung dating Pangulo natin at hindi natin nilitis sa sarili po nating jurisdiction?
If with permission of the Honorable, may I refer to the Chief Dennis Chan?
Good morning, Your Honors. Good morning, Senator Marcolita and Senator Gatchalian. You are correct, Your Honor, that Section 17 on jurisdiction provides for the state exercising jurisdiction over persons suspected or accused of committing a crime penalized under RA 9851. The second paragraph of Section 17, Your Honors, does mention that in the interest of justice, the relevant Philippine authorities may dispense with the investigation or prosecution of a crime if another court or international tribunal is already conducting the investigation or undertaking the prosecution of such crime. Instead, the authorities may surrender or extradite suspected or accused persons in the Philippines to the appropriate international court, if any, or to another state pursuant to the applicable extradition laws and treaties. Your Honor, I believe this was the justification relied upon by the former Secretary of Justice in the action leading to the transfer of the former President, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Chair, they are referring to the second paragraph of Section 17 of 9851. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Prosecutor, I noted that, but I think the colatilia is very, very clear. Pursuant to the applicable extradition laws and treaties. This is absent. So how can you invoke this? Wala na tayong treaty. We have just withdrawn from the Rome Statute. So this cannot be applied. Is that correct?
Your Honor, the way we interpreted that second sentence of instead the authorities may surrender or extradite, we see there two different actions to be taken by the state. It's either to surrender or to extradite, and then if it is to extradite, then it must be pursuant to an applicable extradition law or treaty. So the action taken, Your Honor, was surrender and not extradition.
Pero ang sinasabi niya, pareho sila eh. Yung dalawang conditions na yun will be cut under this pursuant to the applicable extradition laws and treaties. Wala tayong extradition law, wala na tayong treaty because we just withdrawn from the Rome Statute. Hindi mo pwedeng gamitin ito. Kaya dapat yung mag-a-apply is 9851. This is our own law. Okay lang naman dito eh. Can we not prosecute the former president kung talagang meron siyang kasalanan? Our National Prosecution Service, the judiciary, I think, is or are operating, and they're willing, they're competent enough to prosecute, adjudicate, and proceed with the trial. Hindi ba?
Your Honor, with all apologies, I am not able to answer the question as to whether we can prosecute. I am just merely stating that the action of the former Secretary of Justice in for the transfer of the former President to the ICC was premised on Section 17, RA 9851, under the second paragraph.
Yes, but what I'm saying is you cannot use this one because of the absence of an extradition law and treaty. That is the point here.
And Your Honor, that is the subject matter or among one of the issues that we raised in the, or that is being discussed in the Supreme Court petitions that were filed.
Pero nangyari na kasi, dinala nyo na siya doon eh. Under the false claim na pwede nyong gawin because of this. But you did not complete the whole statement. Kung kinonsider nyo yung pursuant to the applicable extradition laws and treaties, hindi dapat nangyari yun eh. So ngayon, kung halimbawa nag-argue kayo sa Supreme Court, nangyari na yun, ando na yung mama, di ba?
Your Honor, if I may also explain, I have no knowledge or participation whatsoever in the events that
Hindi,
led
okay,
to
okay naman yun. Kaya tinuro ka kasi ni...
Yes, Your Honor, to explain the legal justification or premise on which
Yeah, but the legal justification is wrong.
we submit, Your Honor, although that is already pending before the Supreme Court, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome, Your Honor.
Chair, salamat po.